morning, everyone. Quick question. Do you remember what grade you got back in grade 3? You may raise your hands up if you do. I see that only a few of you remembers. Well, I don't, and the majority of you don't either. So, do the grades that we got back then really matter today? Do they in any way shape who we are today? Probably not, because the grades I got back then certainly does not mean anything to me now. But the fact that we were all downright obsessed with our grades back in grade whatever is kind of crazy. We were crying, wailing, and even celebrating over some A's and B's. But it's not like getting an A star on your physics test will guarantee that you'll become a millionaire one day or become as successful as Elon Musk. So why? What is the root cause of this obsession with grades? And do grades really define our potential to succeed in life? My name is Khin Mon, and today I will be talking about grades and hopefully shift your perception on them for the better. I have always considered myself as an overachieving student who came home with the grades that made everyone happy. But the happiness that they felt, I couldn't feel. Of course, I felt happy temporarily. But as time went by, it started to feel more like a requirement rather than an achievement. And this felt the most prevalent to me in 9th grade. I almost lost all my desire and will to continue studying. It wasn't the brightest times of my life. It was probably one of the most suffocating and confusing times of my life. And it certainly wasn't easy to get over that phase and get back on track. But luckily, I did. How did I do that? Well, I freed myself from the grades that shackled me. And now that I am a student on the verge of venturing into university life, I can say this with certainty, that grades are not what builds one's character. It's resilience, consistency, and discipline that do so. Because if you can satisfy all those 3 criteria, there is no way that you will not get good grades. Furthermore, it will build your character into one that is capable of attaining success in life. And this is where our misconception of directly relating grades with success occurs. Now, this is just one of the few reasons why we are so obsessed with grades. And these are 3 more possible reasons why we are so obsessed with grades. First of all, comparing yourself to peers. Second of all, societal pressure. And thirdly, the fear of failure. So, first off, we have this misconception of directly relating grades with our intelligence, capability, and smarts. As such, we associate students with higher grades as someone who is, well, intelligent. And especially in our East Asian culture, having a son or daughter that is academically well off is a huge thing to boast about. And vice versa, we associate students with lower grades as someone who is dumb, incapable of doing anything in life, a failure. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been compared to my peers multiple times. My classmates, friends, cousins, you name it. And as the saying by Theodore Roosevelt goes, Comparison is the thief of joy. Now, relating this to the second bullet point, of course, being constantly compared to your peers will ultimately give you pressure. And this pressure that we put on students not only make them see grades as something that is a must-have, but also may kill their natural desire for academic inquiry. Now, what does pressure ultimately lead to? Stress. And if you are a student or were a student who feels stressed over grades, please raise your hands up. I see that the majority of you have raised your hands up. Well, I too am a student who felt stressed over grades, and we're not alone. Based on the statistics given by Stephen Zondra, CEO of Cross River Therapy, 61% of students, on average, between the ages of 13 to 17, felt stressed over producing satisfactory grades. And we are very well part of that 61%. And what can stress ultimately lead to? Deteriorating mental health, such as anxiety and even depression. Borderline worst case scenario, suicide. An example would be Korea. According to the statistics, the number of suicides among high school students in 2022 alone almost neared 4,000. That's almost 4,000 students concluding that, hey, perhaps dying was much more bearable than continuing to be burdened by this academic stress. Now, I know that there may be other factors contributing to this apart from academic stress, but according to the article published in the summer of 2023 by Alyssa Kang, it is stated that 12% of suicides are caused by academic stress. And we all know how competitive the field of education in Korea is, with everyone wanting to go to Seoul National University, 600,000 applicants a year, with only 3,000 vacant seats. Now, if that isn't intense, I'm not sure what is. And this is not an isolated case. This is happening globally. Here is the data from WHO. On an average of 1 to 7 students between the age of 10 to 19-year-olds experiences a mental health, depression, anxiety, and behavioral disorders. And suicide is the 4th leading cause of death among 15 to 29-year-olds. So maybe this is a wake-up call for us to face what's on the other side of our education system. Maybe it's not always all sunshines and rainbows. And this isn't to scare you all, but to give awareness and to show you the truth, so that we can prevent our future generation from falling victim to the same tragedy. Heavy stuff to take in. Now, going on to our third bullet point, the fear of failure. If you're someone who is scared of failure, please raise your hands up. I too am scared of failure. And as we associate lower grades with failure, naturally, we're scared of it. And this fear of failure stems from our fear of shame and embarrassment. And sometimes it's because we want to protect ourselves from feeling disappointment and regret. But you know what? What is a few failures gonna do? It's not like getting an F on your paper determines that you will never succeed in life. So, to the esteemed adults present today, I would like you to take a trip back to memory lane. Do you perhaps recall anyone from your batch or grade who was never a grade A student but is now doing wonderfully well in life? I'm sure a few names popped up in your head. So, to the younger generation, are you really going to let the fear of failure limit your potential to succeed in life? Are you really going to let an F determine your success, your intelligence, and your worth? No. So maybe it's time for us to overcome the fear of failure and embrace it. Because how will you learn and grow as a person if you've never made any mistakes in your life? And studying may not be for everyone. Because hey, if everyone in the world is good at studying, everyone got straight A's, who's different? Who's special? Where is the uniqueness? So if you have a passion or a dream, go for it. Chase it. Just like Ichiro Oda, the author of the anime and manga One Piece. Now, he was never a straight A student, nor did he achieve anything academically noteworthy. He was just an average Joe, just like you and me. He went to Kyushu Tokyo University, a name that is not seen on Russell's Group or Ivy League, a name we so love to label as average. But this man that went to an average university became a multi-millionaire, breaking the Guinness World Record for selling over 516 million copies of his manga. So my question is, are top grades and top universities always necessary to achieve success in life? Looking at Ichiro Oda, that's probably not the case. And now that I am nearing the end of my talk, I'd like to say that I am in no way disregarding grades. Of course, as we live in a society, we still need to get certain grades to pass classes and get into universities. And it is completely understandable that our parents and educators just want what's best for us. And it is an undeniable truth that high grades will open up a pathway for you to success. But do high grades always guarantee you with a satisfying life? I'm not talking about success, but happiness. And do bad grades always determine that you will never succeed in life? Absolutely not. So where do we draw the line? Where does simply wanting what's best for the student turn into something toxic? Maybe when we start religiously equating A's and B's with our potential and intelligence? Maybe when, due to the stereotypes, we start doubting ourselves just because of an F on our paper? That is for you to decide. Thank you.